Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today. It's March 12th, Friday, 2021. I'm the man they call Meathead. We are just around the corner from Fastlane, just over a week away. We're just around the corner from St. Patrick's Day. We've got NCAA tournament stuff coming up, and we are on the road to WrestleMania. Bringing in this morning on that road is Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning. And we are days away from daylight savings time, which means you have a whole extra hour a day to listen to you and I. Is that the way it works?
Well, you spring forward and you fall back, so you're going to lose an hour of sleep, but you could do it later in the day.
But then you get an extra hour in every day, so the days go from 24 hours to 25 hours, right?
An extra hour of light, you
Oh.
Something about the farmers, and if we were just on taco standard time, it'd be fine.
Yeah, it definitely would be. But no, the origins of daylight savings time, it was so that farmers could farm more during, I believe it was the Second World War. Is that correct?
Something to that effect, yes. And G.W. Bush actually extended it because daylight savings time used to start around April and end somewhere in October. And then he stretched it out to beginning in the middle of March, and it ends around either Halloween or a week after.
Oh my goodness. See, it feels different. Like it feels like it comes earlier now, but I just thought that was my missed perception of it. So it was actually extended in the not too distant past, huh?
G.W. Bush. Right around the time I think they extended the kickoffs to the 30-yard line, then he put them back to the 35-yard line, and now it's 25-yard line for a touchback instead of 20.
I don't feel like there are enough books written on the history of daylight savings time.
I think it should be all covered in one chapter of the Farmer's Almanac and just move on from there.
Right. I bet you could really I bet there's a lot of untold history if you really look into it hard.
That feels like a new episode of Drunken History with the dude from Comedy Central. That is not us, but I would watch that show. Unless we're talking about, Adam Ruins Everything. Adam Ruins Daylight Savings Time. I'd watch that episode. You ever watch Adam Ruins Everything?
No, it's been at the top of your recommendation list for a while, though. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Have I steered you wrong so far?
Not as of yet.
Okay, so you have faith that I'm going to at some point.
I do. I trust your judgment.
Well, you know what? Let's talk sponsors real quick, and then we'll come back to my recommendations of stuff to watch. First off, manscaped.com, making you silky smooth like the Zohan Dave Hero. That should be, I just had an epiphany. You know how Damien had all the nicknames? I've added one nickname into that, but Damien had all those other nicknames. Mm-hmm. We need to add in the Zohan Dave Hero.
Oh, that sounds reasonable. I think that flows pretty well.
Because he talks about us being silky smooth. Save yourself 20% with the promo code PWR, and then collarandelbowbrand.com and get you geared up, ready for spring. Wear those old rags that you're wearing now to clean out the garage. When you got the garage clean, when you're outside cooking, get yourself some new collar and elbow street fashion for the wrestling fan. 10% off with PWR 360. Now, I promised you just a second ago, we've got more TV recommendations. A Peacock original, Punky Brewster reboot, a new generation of punk, is available on the Peacock. Do you know why I'm talking about the Peacock, Matthew Thomas?
Because Peacock's now one of our sponsors. Welcome, Peacock.
No. It is because earlier today they put out a message that said the Peacock, for a limited time only, because they're trying to bump up their initial subscriber numbers, are making the monthly subscription fee half price. So remember how we talked about saving money? It was $9.99, you big dummy, for WWE Network. Well, it's going to be $4.99 for Peacock Premium. It's $2.50. $2.50. Unbelievable. I'm not here to sell Peacock to you.
Yeah, but technically, what you're saying, you pay that, and you've got access to, and that's not the upgrade. So there's going to be some commercials here or there, but that is access to current WWE pay-per-views and their archive, correct?
You're going to have access to everything WWE Network.
Is that not obscene? Like just stop and think about this. Go back a decade ago.
Yeah, we were talking about how great it was for $9.99, you big dummy, to have access to everything.
Go back to a decade ago where you're shilling out $50 a month or $40 a month for WWE pay-per-view, your Impact monthly or your TNA monthly pay-per-views. And if you ever wanted to see anything WWE did that's not a current pay-per-view, you gotta pony up that money for a DVD or a DVD box set. If you want the Royal Rumble collection up until whenever, it came out, that's $200-$300 right there. Yep. My goodness, did you ever think we'd live in an era where you could pay $2.50 and have access to everything WWE's ever done
for an entire month?
Man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And Punky Brewster, a new generation of Punk.
And Punky Brewster.
Right. I mean, that tagline could start rumors. It won't start them on this show, but a new generation of Punk, look in my eyes and what do you see? Could be the cult of personality, but it won't be with Punky Brewster.
Exactly. I never got into the original Punky Brewster run. I might have to
that might be an age thing for you, because Punky Brewster run when I was, back then was working for me, because who her adopted dad was in that movie was Lieutenant Lassard from the Police Academy.
Oh, that's right.
Eric Lassard.
That's right. I knew it was a familiar face. I could not quite place. My goodness. Yes.
So how could you not be into that? I mean, that dude was hilarious.
Man, I might have to go watch it just for that.
There you go. Well, like I said, if you haven't yet, get it ready. Now, Fastlane will be available on the WWE Network and on the Peacock. Then WrestleMania will only be on Peacock. And as we found out yesterday morning, we talked about it on Wednesday night, the NXT 2-day show right before WrestleMania, Wednesday night on the USA Network, Thursday night exclusively on the Peacock. So I feel like I'm not going to get tired of saying Peacock over and over. Peacock, Peacock, Peacock. How many times can you say Peacock?
It's really fun to say. It just rolls off the tongue.
It's just fun to do. Mm-hmm. Wait, 100%. Did you say Peacock off your tongue?
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue. Peacock. Peacock.
What kind of show do you think this is?
Peacock, 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 Peacock. Yeah, you can say it. You can say it quite a few times. Yeah,
probably could. So there's that little bit of news right there. Also, we got one other thing I want to talk about here. Last Monday night on Raw Talk, Peyton Royce cut a promo. Now, you had mentioned to me, you had said this right before we went on the air, that Raw Talk and Talking Smack is where they're cutting these impassioned promos now, and I had mentioned that really the first one to do that was The Miz, kind of saying, where am I? Why am I not on WrestleMania? And just snapping and, going, oh, man, Miz, where's that been? We've gotten that from Bryan now. We've gotten it from Big E in the New Day. Well, we got it from Peyton Royce. Did you get the chance to see it, or have you read about it?
No, I've read about it. I have not watched it yet. I've been meaning to do that. But, I like the fact that whatever it was, it's making news and it's getting people talking about her. And she's really, in a lot of ways, been overlooked since the breakup of the Iconics. And just really not a lot of featured stuff. I mean, she had that kind of short-lived tag team. Who was she tagging with? Lacey. That's right. And of course, Lacey's out now, so that's kind of left her hanging out there. And I mean, I really expected a pretty significant Peyton Royce singles run shortly after the Iconics broke up, but unfortunately, she's kind of been shuffled around in that deck. So it's good to know that they're at least going some kind of route with her.
So here's the thing. I took away two pieces from this. One, hey, nice to hear you on the microphone.
Yeah.
Because all we ever got from you on the microphone before was goofiness. Just the two of you, putting your back next to each other, making fun of somebody and saying you were iconic.
Right.
That ran thin. Just like in your little line, it says your patience was running thin. Your shtick with the Iconics ran thin for me. So these are quotes from Peyton Royce. I've been quiet, but closed mouths don't get paid. I'm not here to hide my talents. In fact, my talents are hidden behind the opinion of others. Why not just let me go? Let me go and see what I can do. What happens? Quote, Asuka is injured right now. Piece number one I took away. Asuka is on the team they call Meatheads for the PWR draft. But she says Asuka is gone, and that sucks for her. But when a talent goes down, a spot opens up, and that spot is massive. Why not me? Why does it always have to be the same old, same old? I packed up my life. I moved across the world, set up in a completely different country with not much of a support system to chase this dream. To do what? To get stuck in a locker room watching other women do what I do better than 98% of them. The other 2%, I sure as hell give them a run for their money. It actually hurts when you know deep down in your soul you're destined to be what you are, striving for what you feel you deserve. My potential haunts me. When you're striving for something you feel you really deserve, this is where I'm meant to be. My patience has been running thin for quite some time. Stop wasting my time and give me Asuka. Give you Asuka? You just said that she was injured.
Right, yeah.
I think she meant to give me Asuka's spot.
Yeah,
your thoughts?
The thing of it is, I mean, this is not the first time one of these post-show talk shows have done this kind of work shoot angle, but it's got people talking. And I mean, this in and of itself, this is an angle. I mean, this could be something for her to run with for a little while, and you don't need to necessarily reinvent the wheel or put a lot of focus on anything gimmick oriented. I mean, this in and of itself is a storyline that has got potential. It needs to be exploited on the main show. And, hopefully this is a vehicle that can be referenced next week when she does appear on Raw and, makes
in whatever type of style or match or whatever.
Right. What I don't want to see happen is, I mean, I look at it two ways. I know they're trying to get views on their post show. The other thing that I'm seeing here is the average fan is giving them 3 hours of their time on Raw. And, I'd like to see this. Hopefully we see this next week. I don't want this to be, Raw Talk exclusive or something that continues on Raw Talk. We see that a lot with AEW and a lot of the business that they do almost exclusively on Dark, which, again, somebody like WWE with 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, I'd like to see this make its way to the main show and not just a, kind of one-off and done. Because if you remember, as great as that promo was with The Miz at the time, I don't remember a lot resulting, and it might be faulty memory here, but I don't remember much happening after we got all of the, the eyes on that promo. So it seems like a lot of times they'll do this just to kind of pop the attention for whatever show they're trying to feature this stuff on. Let's see some residuals, pay off on Raw next week.
Let's see something. Because you're being very generous with saying the average fan gives them 3 hours of their time. Let's be completely honest here, folks. Raw gets fast-forwarded through by more than we'll admit it.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, I think that it's very easy, in a given show to see, okay, there's probably something that's going to come out of this, or this is a very easily, predictable match. We're going to skim over this. And I mean, that's the era we live in. It's DVR technology, and that's the price that you pay as a company for very predictable programming in a lot of segments that you can, go without seeing. They're going to get glossed over.
Let's talk about SmackDown coming up tonight. We're not going to give you the preview that we talked about before we went on the air, which was this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. This is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, this will be blah, blah, blah. We're not going to do that, okay? Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns have their contract signing tonight for WWE Fastlane. Legitimately, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Daniel Bryan has so many different things he can do at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns really needs to work with Edge to legitimize what he's been doing. What is your thoughts on how we get to Fastlane? What's going to happen between Bryan and Reigns?
I think they're going to do enough to make the case for Bryan and Edge between now and Fastlane to let you suspend disbelief and think maybe this is the direction they'll go. Don't think they'll go that direction. I think they'll have a great match at Fastlane, but it reminds me a lot of my goodness, what year was it? I think it was was it even at a Fastlane? Do you remember the year that I think it was Reigns that got Bryan either at Elimination Chamber or at a Fastlane prior to a Mania 3 or 4 years ago? It reminds me a lot of that match. I think it's going to be an interesting story to tell, but I think the money is on Edge and Reigns at WrestleMania, and that's where we're going. But I think it'll be an interesting ride with what we see as far as as Bryan's involvement. And honestly, Bryan and Uso have had an interesting program thus far. Maybe they even end up taking that into Mania in some extent.
A Roman Reigns victory over Daniel Bryan won't cause fan outrage. February 5, 2015. Early into a WrestleMania season that seemed destined for doom, Roman Reigns is subtly a sympathetic figure. Raw's opening segment was an allegory of current events. Reigns stood on one side, intense solitude. On the other side was Yes Movement leader Daniel Bryan and the Authority, now questioning Reigns' Royal Rumble win.
Oh,
the
wow.
Reigns against the world storyline is working.
So that was 2015, huh?
2015.
My goodness, so 6 years ago. Wow.
How do you like that pull? That was a pull out of nowhere.
Yeah, I knew it happened, but I was thinking it had been more recent than that. But my goodness, wow.
Yep. All right. So that's Bryan and that's Reigns. Jey Uso, according to our pre-show preview, is going to come in looking intense and get in somebody's face. Paul Heyman's going to look cowardly, and Roman Reigns is going to say very little. Right? Are we going to do that? But we're not going to do that. Bianca Belair and SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks to appear on the KO show.
Yeah.
Do you feel? I was going to say, let me put this out there. Do you feel that it's just Sasha Banks and just Bianca Belair, or is there something coming for KO out of this?
Not on this one. I want to see more Reginald, and I think he'll probably pop up here because he's got unfinished business.
Reginald's popping on 2 shows? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Reginald, hey, give me Reginald on Raw, SmackDown, Raw.
You want a Raw talk with Reginald where he pops in a passion promo?
Yeah, I mean, Superstars, main event, Live Wire. Give me Reginald on every freaking programming. Work out a multi-company deal so he can cross over to AEW. There's no such thing as too much Reginald.
So, tell me, what do you think's coming out of this?
Yeah, I think we're going to get Reginald involvement. Here's the thing with Sasha and Bianca. As great of a match as it's going to be, I think the program needs other parties involved. I just don't know.
Or other pieces to it.
Yeah, I don't know that the two of them on face value. And here's the deal. They're not. Sasha's leaning a little bit more heelish than she has been as of late. They're not going to full-blown turn her, I don't think. I think there's too much invested right now, especially with the Mandalorian stuff to, go. She's getting a little bit more edge to her, which I really like. I think Bianca Belair is still kind of searching for that character. I mean, prior to the Rumble, after the Rumble, we've got a lot of, wow, look at me, making my parents so proud, that type of stuff. Yeah. It is a very, it's a very sports-like professional wrestling character. It's the person in victory lane or the person who just won a title. And it comes across as genuine, but it does not necessarily come across as a professional wrestling, as entertaining or a professional wrestling personality. And so I feel like, as much as I'm looking forward to this match at WrestleMania, the getting there can be a little bunglesome if not done appropriately. So keep giving me Reginald, give me some extra pieces to, the puzzle, and let's go.
You need a little lamia on there. Yeah. I think I brought that up twice now in this program.
You did. That's exactly what I need, is some of that.
Intercontinental Champion Big E returns to the program, and I think the first person he's going to want to talk to is the man who found an accent. And that's Apollo Crews.
Well, Big E knows about, people that find accents and drop accents.
Or drop accents. Yeah. Boom, boom.
He should be very well versed. But I'll tell you what, man. The Apollo Crews thing is unique. I did not necessarily see it coming, but Apollo Crews on the mic the last couple of weeks on SmackDown, new character and all. I've been impressed with the promos. There's much more vocally from Apollo Crews than we've seen.
It's the thing we've asked for years.
Exactly. So, man, I'm, I was kind of getting tired of the Big E Apollo thing, but this reinvention of Apollo, man, it's got me invested.
Okay. A lot more to come, obviously, from SmackDown, but that's what we're previewing right here. That's the end of the week. Again, the takeaway from the Peyton Royce interview for the man they call Meathead, Asuka is injured. It's not like she's retired. Asuka is injured. So therefore, it's possible I may have a new team member by Fastlane.
Well, it's interesting you say that because the way AEW went off the other night, the Inner Circle and Sammy Guevara was looking kind of beat up and injured. So maybe I think that means Sammy Guevara is injured. So I might have a new
I don't know
number
about
two.
that.
Huh?
I would say Chris Jericho's injured. That was a regular beatdown. Jericho, I would say, is the one injured because he was carried off on a stretcher.
I think it's a very objective decision.
I'll have to talk to the accounting firm and Dewey Cheatham and Howe. So. All right. For Matthew Thomas on the Man They Call Meathead, that has been the week on PWR Today here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the videos. Help us out. Pass the word around. Holler at your boys. Tell your friends. You know, we're building towards WrestleMania. We've got a lot of great content coming our way. Plus, my championship coronation is going to be coming right around WrestleMania as well. So, for Matthew Thomas on the Man They Call Meathead, hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.